morning, guys. How's everybody doing tonight? I guess I need to change my intro. It's got the old truck in there. I say the old truck, but the new truck. I got to get Pearl in the ticker or in the intro. Excuse me. My boy D made that video up, and I need to get to it, and make a new one. All right, so let's get these few comments here, and then we'll get our guest tell what's going on. Looks like Dollar Tree wants to claim that he's first tonight. Dollar Tree Lawn Chair. Love that name. I know you come in and watch other shows too. I've seen you on a few. Anime Demon says, I don't know what exactly that's about. My old friend Jonah Green. Never met Jonah Green, but you come into a lot of the shows, and I know you're wanting to come back to Swift. But so, guys, we got a special guest tonight. I should have ran a post, but I didn't. For some reason, it just slipped my mind. But I mentioned it a couple of times in the last couple of videos. I told you guys that I was going to bring in Braxton from ES Advantage Fuel Cards, and me learning here, ES is so much more than just a fuel card, and we'll let Braxton get into that in just a minute. Let me read a couple more of these comments, and then we'll get into you, Braxton, and we'll get going with the show. We got Newman Attack. I can't get out of upstate New York, and it's my fault. Hey, Newman, it's always my fault. You know that, right? Everything's always my fault. Glad to have you here tonight. Speaking of which, I haven't talked to you in a couple of days. I got to give you a ring tomorrow. How you doing, man? Lamar, I'm doing pretty good, man. Now that I'm through the repairs on this truck, a little costly, but believe it or not, it was quite a few thousand less than I expected. I don't know what the actual final tally will be, but at least got the tow bill paid. That's the good thing. G.A. Deshawn checking in from Reno. And I got Steve Blankenship. Hello. Hey, buddy. It's been a couple of days since I talked to you. I hope things are going well with you. He's a new guy that just came aboard. I think Steven just got your car too here a couple weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken.
I know that guy.
Yep, you sure do. So I'm going to lay the floor out to Braxton, let him tell you guys everything that's going on with ES Advantage, and we'll go from there. Go right ahead, bud. You got it.
Tell you what, James, thank you for having me. I'm very honored to be here with Fly Rabbit and having this opportunity to share, what we're doing at ES Advantage for our customers. Little background on me. I've had a very eclectic background. I've done anything from work on a shrimp boat to offshore. I farmed back on the family farm for 11 years, and that's one of the things that why I understand the pinch points so much of my customers, because diesel was one of the highest overheads that I have. And that, just like food costs in restaurants, the diesel is the lifeblood of the of my customers' operations. And so a penny saved is a penny back in the operation. And that's what, that's our goal. Kind of the groundwork of our program, the ES in ES Advantage stands for Expediter Services. So that's our parent company. We're a full service company for the trucking industry. We help people that wants to get into the industry. We handle all the business on the back end for them. Their insurance, their bookkeeping, their IFTA needs. So the folks, our driving partners, all they have to worry about is finding the loads, getting to where it needs to be, grabbing another load, taking it where it needs to be. And so Expediter Services found me, basically. And I feel it's a blessing to be with this company. So our own branded drivers, our owner operators, they have been using a version of this fuel program for almost 8 years. And so when I say that our national saving average is between 55 and 76 cents, that's a hard number because we've been tracking it that long. That's not last 6 months, it's not the last 18 months. That is what our program average is. And so what really sets us apart, there's several things, is we're not a fuel card. We're not a diesel card. We're a full service program for our owner operator customers, because we are talking about discounted services at our fueling partners, at their maintenance shops. we have got a tire program where you can purchase your discounted tires through our portal, and then you're going to select where you want to have those mounted. Now, I don't know why, but I always use this example. If you're in Jacksonville, you're going to run the I-10 to Houston. You need a couple of steer tires, a couple of drive tires. You can go ahead and have those tires purchased at a discounted price. And then you would select from the available locations in Houston where you want to have those tires mounted. They're waiting on you. They're paid for at a discounted price. All you have to do is pull up and get them mounted. So, you know, we're saving you time. We're saving you money. And then, of course, one of our national partners with their reward program, you will be getting 2 free showers a day. You'll be getting free refills, and then you'll be getting the 3 times the points on their tiered reward program. And so that gives you the ability, that includes diesel purchase. So that gives you the ability to redeem those points for food, merchandise. You can put those points toward maintenance services out in their shops. And so we are trying to be a one-stop shop for all of our owner-operator customers because we have the opportunity to offer truck insurance. We have a health insurance program. We have teledoc, a prescription drug program. And so all of these things that a person, an owner-operator out there is having to deal with day in and day out, we're trying to streamline everything that as an ES Advantage customer, everything that you may need for your operation is here for in one place. And and it's funny, not funny, and this person may be listening, but you know, our kind of thing is you never stand alone with ES Advantage Expediter Services. Back, you know, 2 years ago when diesel just went, you know, out sky high, a customer called me and we were talking, and I was telling him about, you know, our rewards program and how, you know, he would get 2 free showers a day, and I could hear him get emotional, and he goes, Braxton, I've had to choose between eating and taking a shower for the last 3 days, and I'm kind of emotional talking about it because in that moment, I knew that I was making a difference, not only in his business, but in his direct personal life, just because of the benefits that we were able to provide. And that's why one of the main things that, you know, that I feel so blessed to be able to talk with folks like you, James, and the person that you sent over earlier today that I was able to bring on board, that I know that they're going to see the value and the value very quickly in our program. And like I said, that's why I feel so, you know, lucky to be a part of it and be able to talk with folks like you every single day.
Yeah, I agree. You know, like I told you from the beginning, man, I think I've got 6 guys that have come over in the last, I don't know, 30, 45 days or so. And I tell all of them, hey, give this guy a call. You need to get his fuel card. You need to get Braxton a call. You know, you're one of the first people that I set them up with. And it's up to them. You know, you can, like they always say, you can lead the horse to the water, but you can't make them drink it. That's kind of what I do. I don't force anybody to do anything, but I try to explain to them, you know, not only the fuel savings, but the extra, you know, the extra stuff that you get, you know, the showers and the drink refills and those things. I mean, that comes in handy, you know, lots of times. And like you said, I've seen guys that walk in, and I'll tell my wife, we talk about it all the time. You know, guy go in, and when you see a guy, you know, getting 2 hot dogs, he's getting 2 hot dogs because they're 2 for $5 or whatever. That might be his only meal, and unfortunately, you know, I try to explain the situation, but a lot of those guys are, you know, sometimes they're company guys, and it really doesn't help them. But any of the owner operators, I try to tell them about this, but again, you can only do so much.
And
Yeah, talk about
one of the things, and I believe truly, this is kind of one of the, you know, the standards that we set that puts us above and beyond is if you have a problem, you know, you, James, any of our customers, 6 o'clock Christmas Eve, you call, you've got a 1 in 12 chance of talking to me personally. There's no phone bank. You don't get bounced around. We're always aware of our customers' needs, and we are always addressing them if they were to come up. And we don't have a lot of them, but if something were to happen, that's where our whole tagline, never stand alone. And it's, I'm just not blowing smoke because, and I always joke because it has happened. Saturday morning, I was halfway through a haircut, and I had a customer in Chandler, Arizona, couldn't remember his PIN number, and so I had to skedaddle back to the house to get on my computer because he was there. He was at the island. He couldn't remember his PIN number, and so I knew how important it was to him to get diesel to keep going, because if those tires ain't rolling, he's not making money. And so that's what we're always concentrating on, is to make sure that our customers are well taken care of, they're serviced. And like the tagline, it's it's not, like I said, it's not empty words. You're just never going to stand alone with ES Advantage.
Absolutely. And I can attest to this, guys, too. I've called on the weekend, and I didn't get you. I forgot who. This has been over a year ago. But I can attest, man, there's somebody that always answers their phone. And, guys, just so you know, I put Braxton's number down there. That's his personal cell phone number to get a hold of him. I hope that's okay. I meant to ask you that, too, but I figured it probably was. They have an 800 number also, but I want you guys to contact Braxton directly because I've been with this guy for almost 2 years, and his customer service is stellar. And one thing, me being a salesman for so many years, and I know what you're talking about, it's the ABCs of selling. Always be closing, and you're answering the phone all the time. You were getting a haircut. You went and took care of that situation, and that's a part of sales. And, my family knows I was in sales for years. You pick up the phone when it rings. It don't matter what time it is, because that might be your next deal for something. With you, I mean, you're selling, the fuel cards. I mean, you might get a commission out of, selling a truck, because we were talking about that before we came in live. I mean, they also do truck sales too, guys, and leases. So they're just not only that, they do everything.
And I will say this, James. I mean, the folks here can hear me. I am not a polished salesperson.
You don't have to be. That's the cool thing about it. You don't have to be. You just have to be genuine and yourself. That's why I'd sold so many cars when I was in the car business. People came back to me because, we liked you. You weren't a polished salesman. You didn't demonstrate all the little toys and the whistles on the cars. You were honest. You told us what you could do and what you couldn't do. And you're the same way. And that's why I linked on to you, because I feel the same way about you. You're not gonna pull the wool over somebody when the deal's done. You're still there for customer service.
And that's one thing is the reason why the owners of Expediter Services, they wanted to scale this program out, is because a 1-2 truck, 4, 5, 6 truck operation does not have the leverage to get the discounts of a very, very large fleet. So we use our relationships, the size of our fleet, the existing customers in ES Advantage, to make sure that a 1-truck operation gets the same type of discounts, that a 100, 150, 250 truck fleet will. And that goes, because we do have prepaid options. We have a couple of credit options. We have a credit option that will help a young business start to grow their exposure and build their business credit. That's one of our important things that we're able to offer, is because you have a person, and it doesn't matter, young person, middle-aged, older person like me. I'm an old goat. If they're in this industry, they have a fresh new LLC. They have a new, they're sole proprietor, and they're working under their own name, their company. Well, we had the opportunity to help them build, business credit, and that I've had so many customers take advantage of that, and I have seen within a very short time that they're able to move on, and I've heard back from them and do things within, like I said, less than a year that they couldn't have done starting out, because they've got that exposure through our programs, and that's important. Leverage, it's so important. And I would tell, I wish that I was always the cheapest diesel, and I feel like I'm going to be. But if I'm not, my customers, I want them to always be able to buy the cheapest diesel, because if my customers are not moving, if they're not running, then this whole industry just stops. And that's what, you know, we're hoping for, this bubble coming up. You know, the ships are starting to come in, and we're hoping to see freight pick up, and now is the time to make up some ground, especially when it comes to the cost of what you're spending on your diesel expense. You know, if you can make up the ground now during the slow times, this is when you're better leveraged, you're better prepared, you know, to handle those slow times. I'll take my own personal experience as a farmer. When corn was at $8 a bushel, well, I only hope that those folks prepared when corn got back down to $4 a bushel. And it's the same way with diesel expense. It's the same way with your operating expense. That's why we have the opportunity to save money on your maintenance services, save money on your tires, because we want always to be able to put as much money back in your operation as possible. You know, our average is, you know, we're saving our customers well over $1,000 a month per truck off cash price at the pump. That is a mortgage payment. That's a tractor payment, you know, a truck payment. And so by being able to do that, we are helping these customers that are dealing with slower freight stay on the road and be able to get over the hump, where when things start hitting, they're in a position to take advantage of that.
And I'll add to that. I think you kind of lowballed that a little bit. I think your savings is even more than that. When I use it religiously, I was seeing anywhere between $300 and $500 a week, you know, on savings. So I think you kind of lowballed that a little bit in most
Well,
cases,
I like
especially in the Northeast.
under promise and over deliver.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
what we do. Um, and then of course, you know, with our proprietary ES Advantage app, smartphone app, you have full visibility of all your locations, all of your prices at all times. And so we have a routing feature now where, you know, if you are going to run the Jacksonville to Houston corridor, you can set that route and you're already making your diesel purchase decision before you even crank your truck and get on the road. And so, you know, and that's a great way to help set your budget for a trip. You know what your miles are, and now you have a great idea what your fuel expense is going to be. And so that's going to, you know, help you see where that margin, which sometimes can be razor thin, where that's going to be at.
Absolutely. So I'm going to read these comments, and there's a couple questions for you here. By the way, Matt, I don't know if he must have one of your cards. He says Braxton's the man. So I guess Matt Leroy's already got one of your cards. Newman Attack says, "What's the cost of the card usage?"
We do. It depends. Like I said, on the prepaid compared to our credit, the fee structure is set up a little bit different. We with our credit debit card funding with our prepaid, those funds are available within 30 minutes. If you chose to use your personal business checking account, that, you know, that's another way, and that does, you know, maximize savings. But my debit credit card customers, um, they are they're up around. I do the math. I do the math, according to the AAA daily average. I do this math about once a month, and anybody that calls me, I will tell them this. It's no different than having a one-on-one conversation with anybody out there. Um, my debit credit card customers, you know, they are saving on average between about $110 to $120 off cash price, and I'm doing this off $1,000 that they're pushing through the program. My ACH, which is using your checking account, you know, they're up somewhere between about $130 to $150 off cash price average for every $1,000 you're pushing through the program, and that's net. That's net price. You know, I would be glad to get into the two little different fee structures with anybody that'd like to give me a call. But we feel like within the industry, the way we're set up, we are positioned to give the best value. Not to say that there's other programs out there that can't save you money. We just know that we see the numbers, we hear from the customers, and we just know that we're able to provide, a top tier program to our customers.
Okay, good deal. And Black Smoke Mafia says, I use them here at Swift. Love the discounts. Had a glitch at the Petro where the fuel discount didn't go through, but hopefully it will get fixed in 2 days. But the Love's discount is great. Is what it says.
And
The white.
Let me address that. We are dealing with technology, and if there ever is an issue, we take care of our customers. If we have a customer for some reason because of the location where they're at, they're not communicating with our system clearly, and let's say a customer for some reason doesn't get the discount that's being reflected, and that very rarely happens. But if it were to happen, we're going to see to it that if that transaction you were supposed to save $75, we're going to see to it that you saved $75.
Gotcha. And there's the wife. She says hello to you and me. She comes in all the time and kind of moderates, make sure that the bad people stay out. Stephen Blankenship says, wow. And here's a regular viewer, Mac T. Obviously, he knows the system. He says, what's up, Rabbit? I will have to get my ES account reactivated. You guys are the ones with the free showers at the big truck stop chain, right? Yep, that's correct. And he knows the routine. We can't name the big truck stop, but Mac T is on there. Call Brian T. Caught up on comments. Anybody got any comments? Post them up. And love this car. It says and Matt. Matt McCleary, maybe tell them about. I don't know what that word is. Let's see, what's that? You know what that is?
Don't ask me. I got a public education from Louisiana and Arkansas, Mississippi.
Yeah, same here, man. Matt, you're gonna have to clarify that. That is a word that I don't know. Pastors. Okay. Of course, that's probably the wife telling me what that means. So she says I'm freezing up. Yeah, if I'm freezing up, guys, I can't help it. It's where I'm at. I'm in Pennsylvania, and there weren't a whole lot of choices. I pulled at a major truck stop here and was hoping that I would have a good connection. It says I have a good connection. I don't know why I would be freezing up. I've got all bars on AT&T and T-Mobile.
And James, I'll say this, if anybody, would like to, that's interested and like to have a conversation with me that comes through South Haven, Mississippi, Memphis, give me a heads up. We'll be able to talk face to face. We have a real nice facility there at Expediter Services. We have plenty of room to turn around. We have shower facilities. We have, wash and clothes facilities. And so we don't get a chance to see a lot of our ES Advantage customers face to face, but anytime that we do get that opportunity, we really appreciate it because, like I said, we don't get to do it very often. And even the existing customers, if you happen to come through there, you got a few minutes, stop, say hello, meet the team, and that way you can see the inner workings of what we're doing and know, this is a team. I mean, these are folks that's taking this customer service. They're playing this close to the vest. And we relish in that opportunity to be able to meet our customers like that.
Gotcha. So Dollar Tree Lawn Chair says, only good thing to come from Pennsylvania are the rudders, sheets, and the turnpike service plazas. I'm not a big rudders fan, but the sheets, I can definitely deal with the sheets. But I don't know, man. Sheets has great food. Turnpike service plazas, they're hit or miss. They're expensive, believe it or not. Everything up here is expensive.
I'm a fan of Hershey's chocolate.
Huh?
I'm a big fan of Hershey's chocolate.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Hershey's chocolate too. I'm a fan of any chocolate. I personally like the Reese's chocolate just a little bit better, but chocolate's chocolate to me. The wife says, Truth Dollar Tree. I can't watch the show anymore? You don't like? Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. You know, and it might just been the rudders that I was at. I've only stopped there one time, and the food that I got really wasn't comparable to Sheets in my opinion. But I'll give them another shot. I come up here quite a bit. Um, Man, I got to tell you, you put me with a lot of knowledge tonight that I didn't even know about. I mean, I knew about the truck sales, I knew about the health insurance, but the one thing I didn't know about, and that's one thing that I want to talk about, is the tire savings. So even with the fuel card, we still get tire savings too. Or is that a
Absolutely.
different?
No,
Really? So how do you go about looking that up and having that set up? Because I'm going to be in the position to buy tires here soon.
well, we have a couple of we're unique because we do have our ES Advantage Gold Tire program. That is
Okay.
where you purchase your tires through our web portal, and you have full visibility. You know what your price is before you hit buy, and so
Okay.
there's no surprises. You're not waiting to find out what you saved on the back end, and then and that's the Gold Tire program. But we also have the opportunity to purchase your discounted tires directly at our any of our our national partners because we over 1,300 locations is where you're able to get your discounts, and a lot of those will be able where you'll be able to get your tire discounts as well.
Yeah, I'm looking at your app right now. Where's it at on your app?
Well, with the tire with the Gold Tire program, our final step is the our onboarding. That's where we
Okay.
get you in because we have what we call our e-manager, and what that does is that does give you the ability to, and we walk you through everything. Our onboarding team is top notch. Those folks do not let a new customer off the phone until they are 100% comfortable that they are comfortable with able to have to do their account. And so once we do that step, then we get the opportunity that we get you on board with the Gold Tire program. And then within our ES Advantage app, you'll see that there is a point of sale code where you're able to get your discounted tires with our national coast to coast chains.
Gotcha. I gotcha. So he doesn't. He's a Rudders fan. So guys, just to clarify here, there's Braxton's phone number on the ticker at the bottom. Give him a call. Tell him you saw the show tonight. He'll set you up with the card. Um, they got a referral program too. He can go over the referral program and let you guys know. It's important to put this word out there and get everybody on this card as much as they can. You know, I looked at all the other big name cards before I even went with ES Advantage, 2 years ago, and I couldn't see any benefit with the other cards compared to what ES has given me, and that's why I went with them. And again, I'm not taking any of this credit of bringing these guys, other than showing you guys the discounts. But this is something Trucker Todd started, 2 years ago, and I just kind of, followed in with him. And I wasn't doing YouTube at the time, and then Charlie and Jeff with Contractor Corner, they started supporting you guys, and I know they're really big. So I'm not trying to steal anybody's thunder here. I'm just trying to bring you guys, and show you, if you don't know about them, make sure you look them up and at least give them a shot. Because I guarantee you, their savings are going to be greater. Because I looked at this for a long time before I even did it.
And I'll just kind of speak, and I'm sure I know you have other folks that watch you, but I'll just speak right now to the Swift owner operator, Trucker Todd, um,
Charlie and Jeff.
Charlie and Jeff, you, James, y'all were customers first. I mean, y'all didn't say boo about our program to anybody until you fully vetted us out. You saw that the benefit that we were bringing, and once you were comfortable seeing this is what ES Advantage can do for our business, we want everybody to be able to have access to the same thing. And like I said, we're relatively young, in the industry, but we have come on very strong because folks like you, Charlie and Jeff, Trucker Todd, that they have seen very quickly the benefit we bring their businesses, and so that's why we have gained a lot of traction very quickly because we're very unique of what we offer. to our customers. We're, like I said, we're not a diesel card. We're not a fuel card. We are our solution to helping our owner operator customers save money across the whole spectrum of your business.
So Mike T said, yeah, Trucker Todd got him on when he was at Swift. Yeah, get back on their program. You'll be happy, Mike T. And Dollar Tree says, does ES give you extra discounts if you dance after seeing the receipt?
And I'll say this: one of the things that tickles me so much is because I give examples of our discounts when I'm talking to a customer, and if I say, because I mentioned Carlisle, Pennsylvania earlier to you, James, if I say, well, in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, right, and this is just an example, I don't have my map up, well, right now we have a 91-cent discount. And if the next thing I hear is an expletive, then I know that I've done hit home with them. If I done got them saying a cuss word, as soon as I say, yeah, we got a 91-cent discount, then I'm like, okay, I believe this lady may be interested in what we got going on.
So I'll go a step further with your discounts. And guys, you can do it all you want to. And I know he can't really show you the map of where the discounts are. But so all you Swift owner operators or lease operators, whatever you want to call them, it just depends because there's so many trolls out here. You got to be careful how you classify yourself. But anyway, if you look at the ES Advantage, and a lot of us, if you're using Swift's fuel card, there's no well, you get a 5-cent discount. That's it. But if you're using that card, and a lot of us have done this in the past, we'll fill up at the QTs, the Quick Trips, the Sheets, the Rudders, because their fuel discounts are cheaper if you're strictly on that Comdata card. And until I found the ES Advantage card, their discounts are even deeper than what you can get at these mom and pop places. And the one thing that I noticed, especially when fuel was really high a couple of years ago, like you were talking about, the fuel discounts were over $1, sometimes even close to $1.25. And I think in one case, even $1.50 when fuel was up, above the $4 and $5 range. It was really no big deal to come up here into the Northeast when the fuel was, $4.50, $5 a gallon, because you knew that you could get the discounts on the fuel, and you could go to the major 5 truck stops and still, get that discount with no problem. And I can tell you that.
And I looked at the map. This was about 3:45. I was talking to a customer. They were in the Northeast, the central Northeast, and around the Maryland area, we had discounts in excess of $2 again off cash price, because all of our discounts come off cash price. And so, that's across our network, we are seeing significant savings. And like I'm saying, right now is the time that our customers are really making up some ground as far as their savings on their fuel expense.
Gotcha. So here's a question: is ES the same company as the EFS card?
No, we are not. We are not. Well, I will say this: EFS, they pretty much have rebranded to West. They're one and the same. There's still EFS cards out there, and they have some great products. We operate on the platform, like your debit card is a Visa or MasterCard. We are on the platform, but it's important to understand that ES Advantage, we own all of our own relationships. We own all of our own discount. But you're talking about the preeminent, financial institution in the country as far as the diesel industry, over 14,000 locations. And so, but no, you are our customer. You will never call somebody else if you have an issue. You will be calling ES Advantage.
So I think our cards even actually have EFS on them, don't they?
Yeah, they are branded ES Advantage. Right. But you will see the information for EFS. But it's important to know, like I said, if you have an issue, you will not be calling a third party. You'll be calling us directly because you're an ES Advantage customer.
Gotcha. So I'm going to make fun of myself here a little bit because everybody always talks about me, and one day I will have a T-shirt made. But I switch companies like my underwear, and everybody always talks about that. So the good thing about this card, the ES Advantage card, you can actually call your representative, Braxton or whoever. You can even call the main number and say because they ask you, what do you want your security to be? You can be your truck number, your social security, whatever. Every time I switch companies, I call in and I have my, my truck number changed because my truck number changes every time I go somewhere. But anyway, you can actually do that, guys. Your passwords and stuff when you change companies or you go somewhere else, or maybe you get your own authority and do your own thing. You can have all your passwords updated, changed as many times as you want to, and they'll do it. It's easy to do.
And that's one of the things, James, we walk you through, and then if you need assistance down the road, we do. So, like, let's say that you want to have your expense reports broke down by state once a quarter. If you want to do it weekly, if you want to do it daily, we set that up with you to say, hey, here's my report. This is going to my bookkeeper. This is going to me. And so we're able to provide that service where there's no guessing game. Well, did I buy diesel in Illinois last week? Where's my receipt at? No, there it is. It's downloaded. You see exactly where you're at. You see what cash price is. You see what your discount is, and then you see what your net price was per gallon. And then what you paid per transaction. You get diesel, you're going to see, this is what I saved, this is what I spent on this transaction. All that's at the touch of your fingers.
Yeah, and that PDF file is the file that you want to send to your carrier to, so they can report your IFTA also, just to give you guys a heads up. If anybody has questions about it, because if you're using the card that the company gives you, that to your IFTA, you have to manually in your stuff. I don't know for a second. You got to manually stuff your carrier when you do that.
And I tell you one of the things, James, that floored me is when I started and I was going through kind of, because I ran 2 day cabs off the farm. I mean, I wasn't a owner operator by any means. When my Volvo or my Mac pulled out of the field, it was the grace of the good Lord that it made it back one piece. But I didn't understand how large carriers would hold back discounts from their owner operators, and it didn't make sense to me. I couldn't understand that. Well, if the owner operators aren't running, then what's their business? But still, there it is. You may have a major chain giving that carrier a 70-cent discount at that location, but they're only passing on a dime, 15 cents, maybe a quarter to their owner operator drivers. And so that's it. Like I said earlier, that's what we do, is we give you the leverage to get that same type of discount that the carrier that you're working for would get.
Gotcha.
Are working under, not working for, working under.
Gotcha. Well, guys, if you guys got any comments or questions for Braxton, post them up. I knew he had about a 30-minute or so that he could be on here. We're running at 38. It's been a great live, a lot of information. Unfortunately, I haven't had a whole lot of people. I get a lot of replays. A lot of people watch my show and do a replay later. For whatever reason, it's hit or miss on Thursdays. I don't know why it is. I could have 60, 70 people on here on a Thursday, and then sometimes I'll have 25 or 30. That's kind of what tonight has been. But I'll have I put up a pre-recorded video yesterday, and I've already had 500 views on that video, and it's really weird because I'll get 200 to 400 views on these videos, within 24, 48 hours. So here we go.
If there's one owner operator out there that I could help save money, then it would be worth me coming on here tonight. And I greatly appreciate the opportunity. And like I said, and that's what our owners, our founders, that's why we scaled this thing out for the general trucking public, is because I get to talk to you, James, every day, and folks like you. I've had customers that, like you, James, that have been with me for 2.5, 3 years, that will just call me and say, hey, How's your boy doing in school? What's going on? You know, don't hold this against me. I'm an LSU fan. So I've got folks that will call and give me a hard time when they lose, and I got folks that'll call me and congratulate me when we win. But I do have the opportunity, and even though it's sometimes, a lot of times, it's just through the phone, through text messages, I get to build relationships, and I cherish those relationships because I'm getting to, number one, meet people across the spectrum, across the ages, everything, and I have friends. I consider you my friend, James, and I brought a person on today as a new customer that and me and him hit it off, and I can tell that we're probably going to have conversations that are just probably strictly social in the future, and that's and that's what I enjoy. That's one of the things I enjoy most about my position with ES Advantage with Expediter Services, is I do get to build these relationships, and I get to help my customers save considerable amounts of money and help their operation.
So, got a trash talker here. I'll get to him in just a minute because you're LSU. Is the card only for owner-operator fleets?
It is. The way I would say, if you are somebody that's responsible for your diesel, and you use your diesel burning vehicle in conjunction with your business, then you would qualify for our program.
So Mike T says South Carolina almost got the Tigers last season.
Almost only counts in hand grenades.
That's right. Horseshoes and hand grenades.
Horseshoes and hand grenades.
That's right, man. Stephen Blankenship, good stuff, man. Lots of info. Yeah, Steve, give me a ring tomorrow, man. It's been a couple days. I want to make sure you're doing okay. I'm sure you are. And my wife says, I agree, Steve B. Very informative. Yeah, guys, that's what I try to do. I try to put out these videos, bring people on, and get as much good information out there as I possibly can. Got some more comments here. Grateful to be a member of the EF. It's ES Advantage, by the way, not EF, just to let you know. But that's fine. It's probably typo. I'm sure he's glad to have you. Like he said, he likes the one guy, operations just as much as the big guys. I don't think you can fit my work vehicle under a fuel island. I wonder what kind of work vehicle you have.
The track.
He must have a big earth mover or some type or something. Okay, been running busy. Yeah, I've been running busy too. I've been running a lot of nights if you guys have been trying to call me. If there's anybody out there that's trying to call me or get in touch, understand that I run a lot of nights, and I'm really hard to get a hold of sometimes. Just shoot me a text. I'll call you when I because I know a couple people have tried to call me. I got one guy that I got to call back that's been trying to call me for the last week or so. I try to do my best, but it's just difficult. I'm afraid to wake you if I call. Steve, if it's nighttime, I'm usually running. You can always call me or text me. If I'm up, I'll call you back. I'll be running tonight, Steve, if you're running. That Jaden Daniels is a phenom already. Yeah, Jaden Daniels is a...
There he is.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels is... let me tell you what. My team, the Buccaneers, beat the Redskins. I don't know if they're Redskins or whatever they want to call themselves, but they'll always be Redskins to me. We beat them earlier in the season, but I got to tell you what. He tried to make a comeback in that game. It was either first or second game of the season, but we barely beat them. But I tell you what, they got a hell of a team. They built somebody with that guy. He reminds me of another Lamar Jackson is what he reminds me of. Lamar is just he's one of a kind, man. And you're an LSU guy. Well, I'm a Louisville guy. That's where I went to school at, and I followed Lamar. Him and Teddy Bridgewater. I followed both of them for a long time, but Lamar is a unique person, and I think Jaden Daniels is going to be that unique person on his style too.
Yeah, there's a statue of Denny Crum somewhere on campus, isn't there?
Yeah, they actually just put that up not too long ago. Yeah, it don't really look like him, but Denny Crum is the man. A lot of people, they don't know. And I'm surprised you knew who he was. A lot of people, you got age on you like I do, but a lot of people don't even know who Denny Crum is. But man, he was Louisville was always the school in the background. You always have your blue bloods, your Duke, your UK. Louisville's won a championship 3 times in 25 years. And a lot of people don't know that. They won in 80, 86, and then they won again in 2013, which they took away from them because of the Rick Pitino scandal, but they've recently just got that banner back. But Denny Crum, I tell you what, the 1980 team and the 1986 team, you had some good players. You had Darrell Griffith in the 80 team, and then you had Purvis Ellison and all those guys in the 86 team. Billy Thompson, Milt Wagner. You had all of those guys, man. They were a dominant force back in the day. And if anybody's basketball fans, and I'm sure you are too, but basketball and football is where it's at. I was actually more of a basketball fan until I moved to Florida, because that's what's in Kentucky is basketball. So Steve says he'll text me. Dollar Tree says, no, sir, just a little bitty train. Okay.
And I'll tell you what, let me finish with this, Fly Wrap. I think you guys, you gals, ladies, gentlemen, are superstars. There's no way that I could do what you do. I have a 28-mile one-way commute, so what's that, 56 miles a day. And by the time I get home, I am so frazzled and so aggravated that I don't know how you do it. And this is what I tell my customers, this is the truth, that if I had to torture my enemy, I would have them drive the loop between the Mississippi River Bridge in Little Rock on I-40 on a nonstop loop. And so if any of y'all have done it, it's the most treacherous, torturous piece of interstate I have ever been on, and I don't know how y'all do it, and I'm just blessed that you're able to do it.
Buddy, you haven't been on I-70 from Indianapolis to the Ohio border. You will get a back massage, a leg massage, and probably lose a few vertebrae because of the roads. They're so bad. It is really, honestly, it used to be Oklahoma was the worst roads. Not anymore. That stretch of road on I-70 is the absolute worst, and I think everybody on here will agree with me. It will throw your back out of place. You will be sore driving that 120 miles, whatever it is, through that man. And as soon as you cross that Ohio state line, it's so much smoother. Now, granted, Ohio's roads aren't better by any means. It's just they're not as it's just so bad through that stretch. That is the worst of any highway that I know of. I'm not trying to make a
Louisiana. I'm just so proud you didn't say one in Louisiana.
No, actually, Louisiana's not that bad in my opinion compared to that Indiana. That is the absolute worst. There's TikTok videos out there about that stretch of road, to be honest with you. So Mike T says, as a Packer fan, I enjoyed him versus the Lions. Yeah. He's a phenomenal man. There's no doubt about it. Dollar Tree says, I was asking about the card through because I like road trips, was seeing if there was like the rewards card for truck stops.
Yeah, they're, like I said, one of our national partners, coast to coast. You do get the high end tier, platinum tier on their reward program, and so you're able to get those benefits. If you have an operation, if you're a fleet owner, if you're even one that where you need to be able to purchase gasoline with your account, we have a special program for that as well. But we definitely do have those options.
So Mike T says you'll enter LA at 2 p.m., but you won't get to Long Beach until 6:30 p.m. That's LA is probably that. Dallas and Atlanta are probably the 3 worst places to drive through with traffic. There's no doubt about that. So guys, if you got any more little questions you want to pop them up, and we're gonna cut this show off. Braxton's got some obligations, and quite frankly, I got to get prepared to start driving here in a little bit myself. I wanted to make sure this show went off without a hitch tonight. We've been planning this for a little bit over a week, and I was pretty confident it was going to be a decent show. And like I said, you're gonna get a lot of people that are going to be calling you from the replay, I would imagine.
Well, I appreciate everybody so kind to me.
And just be patient, guys. The guy that he talked to today, my buddy Chris, he got I mean, he pretty much got his card approved in the same day, but it takes a couple of days. It takes 3 or 4 days for them to get everything together, and then you got to go home to get your card because they mail it out, United States Postal Service. But once you get your card, I mean, guys, it's nice to have. Just the benefits that it has with the fuel discounts. That's a big benefit, and you got the extra stuff with showers and the refills on drinks. Just remember the refills. You got to have your own, mug or cup or something. And same thing with the coffee. But it's a good service.
And James, let me say to what you just said, if we've got folks that are on the road, I've got customers that live out of their truck. And so you have the ability to go ahead and start getting your discounts at one of our national coast-to-coast partners without having to have your physical card. And so you have the ability to go ahead and start doing that. If you can't get home to get your hands on that card, you can go ahead and start getting your discounted fuel even without it.
Gotcha. Well, I don't see any comments. Braxton, you got anything you want to add in final? And we'll cut her off.
Thank y'all for entertaining me. James, thank you for having me on here. Anything that I can do to help anybody, please don't hesitate to reach out. And I look forward to hearing from anybody and everybody that that needs the ES Advantage program.
It's awesome. Thank you, Braxton. I really appreciate it. By the way, guys, new hats. I don't know, it's backwards, but Fly Rabbit Logistics, they are coming soon. I've only bought a couple of them just to try them out. And let me tell you what, this hat actually turns out to be really nice. The wife is doing the merch store on her own. We were going to look at doing other things, but we're going to do the merch store on our own because I think the quality is a lot better. The quality on this hat is what you would see like in a professional sports team hat. I mean, the quality is phenomenal. I've ordered some hats off of some other YouTubers and stuff, and the quality just to me wasn't there compared to wife wanted to do this on her own. These hats are going to be somewhere between $25 and $30. And let me tell you what, guys, these are every bit of the $40, $50 hats that you would see from the sports teams if any of you guys are into sports and want those hats. And I know that's going to probably price out a lot of people, but I want to put quality out there more than just put it out there. I'm not looking in it to make any money or anything like that. I want to get the logo out there. I for whatever reason, I've always loved my logo. Kind of bragging on myself a little bit. I had a friend draw it up for me, and she did an awesome job. And I've considered changing it a couple times, but I kept with it. But anyway, I'm done talking about me. But just check it out. I'll let you guys know when they come up. Braxton, I appreciate having you on. You don't realize how much I enjoy doing these shows with you guys from different companies and stuff and bringing these savings on to people. Did I miss a comment up here?
Well, everybody, please be safe. And we appreciate y'all very, very much. And like I said, anything ES Advantage can do, you please don't hesitate to reach out. And we'll do anything that we can to help y'all's business.
Chris Reed put a comment on here. I didn't see this one. How much money is too much for a truck driver, a company driver on a W-2 is $2,000 a week, too much money? I don't know if I understand. That's a question not for Braxton. I think that's pretty good, $2,000 a week as a company driver. All right, so Dollar Tree has one more thing, and I know this is going to be a comment. You should make a hat for the trolls about your flying to all the different companies you've been with. Yeah, I am going to make a T-shirt with a big question mark on it. It's going to say, what company is Rabbit working at this week? And I said that before, and I'm going to do it. Anyway, guys, appreciate having you on here, Braxton. It was really good. I think this is probably one of the best shows that I've had. Your information is valuable, and I think all guys need to jump on and give him a call as soon as you can, guys. Anyway, guys, we'll cut it here. Thanks, Braxton. If you need me for anything, don't hesitate to call me, bud.
Thank you, James.
All right, have a good night. Bye. Hey, Irishman. Hey, brother, it's been a minute. I left OTR and teach students how to drive tractor trailers. Swift is one of our recruiters here in South Carolina. Happy brother in blue is doing well. Hey, I appreciate it, Irishman. I'm sorry you left OTR, but it looks like you got a good gig. Give me a holler anytime you want to, man. I'd love to speak with you and get some information about your school. Maybe we can, swap some information. Good night, Steve. We'll talk at you, buddy. All right, guys. Y'all have a good evening. If anybody has any questions, like I said, be patient with me. I'll try and call everybody back. You guys have a good night, and until next time. Dollar Tree, you still liking Swift? Swift is, I'm always going to like Swift, and again, it's not a perfect company. I've always said that. But when you're looking at companies, you got to look at the benefits for you. Swift might not be the best option for you, for say, but for me, they are right now with the economy the way it is. I'm not a spot market guy. I don't like the brokers calling me all the time. I like just doing my job, doing the dropping hooks, picking them up. Every once in a while, you get a live load, live unload, whatever. Um, the system works for me, and I'm not even talking about the recruiting, bringing you guys over. I'm talking about just driving, because I get antsy. I don't like sitting in docks and things like that. I like driving. That's where I make my money at, is driving. And, once I get through all these little, hardships with the breakdowns and stuff like that, I'm going to have no problems, bringing $2,500 to $3,500 a week home just driving a truck. Again, I own my own truck. My results are going to be a little bit different from somebody who leases. And I've always said to all my guys, if you lease a truck through Swift, if you run it like you should, get the ES Advantage card, get the SeBrite insurance, all the stuff that I promote, there's no reason why you can't make at least $2,000 to $2,500 a week. And I think pretty much all the guys, Steve, Mike, Chris, these guys that I brought on, they all agree, and they're seeing it every week. It's just little things. The most expensive thing that you're buying is your fuel. That's why I brought Braxton on. If you can save the money on the fuel and then get the SeBrite insurance, that's a couple $100 a month. You're looking at, $500 to $750 a week just on those two things alone from saving the money. And that's where you make your money at, guys. I'm going to leave it at that. Guys can say what they want to about Swift, but it's a great company. There's hardly any, bullshit you got to put up with here. I got my drug test this weekend. All right, Anime Demon, good deal. He also, Dollar Tree, you have a TV cable in your truck. Yeah, I have, I've got a TV and I've got T-Mobile. I got the home internet. I've had it for almost 3 years now. For the most part, it's pretty good. There are some shoddy places, but that's with any type of cellular. Cable and wise, I use a couple apps. If you want to contact me, I'd be more than happy to go over all the stuff that I have. But yeah, I mean, everybody has Netflix and Hulu and all that, and I do too. But I got some live TV apps that work really well. That I can watch the football. I can watch all the football games during season, basketball. I've got no problems with watching with what I have. But yeah, feel free to contact me. I'll give you my my hits. Well, we're sitting at about 58 minutes. I guess this is going to be it, guys. Anybody got any last questions? Pop them up, and we'll get out of here for the night. Been a great live. I'm glad the people that have come on tonight. I think we had about 30 at one time. Appreciate you guys coming on, and I know there'll be a lot of replays. Okay. All right, guys. Anybody that I told call me, Dollar Tree, Irishman, any of these guys, call me tomorrow and we'll go over stuff. Other than that, guys, you all have a good night. Been a great live, a lot of information to process. Anybody has any questions, don't hesitate. Give me a call. Good night, guys.